Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
First invocation.
Our Father God, we come before you this afternoon to seek blessing in this meeting and to always glorify your name. We thank you for this very day and for all the wonderful things you do for each and every one of us. We must always recognize you are in control of all things, so we ask and seek your help in doing the right things in our lives. We pray that this board will honor you in doing the right things as well for our community, for every family that they represent, that they will never seek their own will or selfishness as they serve each day. One of the things that we want to mention this afternoon is our concern and our prayer for all those who have suffered in the last several months with great tragedies, especially those in Southern California with the fires, the loss of material things, but more than that, the loss of lives, families, friends, and neighbors. And those that have lost their lives in these latest plane tragedies and crashes, and we know that they've lost family members and loved ones, and we pray for all of them, and we pray for your guidance and your healing hand to be upon them. We thank you for everything and ask this prayer in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen, and thank you, Jack Mayberry from Twin Cities Church of Christ. And I'd like to ask Guadalupe Rivera to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And please remain standing for a moment of silence that we'd like to recognize for Jared Rogers, a road maintenance superintendent for Sutter County Development Services, who passed away last Saturday. So a moment of silence for one of our own, please. Okay, thank you. Everybody may be seated. I'm going to ask the Board of Supervisors to join me up front here for some presentation.
Will Michelle Blake please join the board up front to receive a plaque in honor of 25 years of service with Sutter County?
Yeah. 25 years, no way. But I think you started when you're 10, right, Michelle? Was it, you were 10? Yeah, you were 10 years old.
She's doctor, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Blake. Okay, so Dr. Blake, congratulations. We are honored to be able to provide you with this recognition. 25 years is a major milestone, and that's just wonderful. And the things that you've done for Sutter County have been amazing. I know I've been here for 10, and I've just seen what you've done with Children's Families First from the time that I've been here. Really have improved services altogether, worked to develop an amazing team that works with you, and just have a tremendous impact on the whole community. So thank you for the services that you provide.
You are welcome.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else have any comments? Oh, we'd like you to speak. Yeah, thank you. Please.
Well, thank you, Honorable Chair and
Yeah.
Supervisors, for this recognition. It has been my honor to serve Sutter County for 25 unbelievable years, alongside of many dedicated partners, as well as friends and colleagues, many of whom are in this room today. And a special acknowledgement to the team I am blessed to work with each and every day: Pam, Jennifer, Erica, Rachel, Julie. Thank you for continuing to not only empower families, but you empower me each and every day to continue to work harder and stronger and more meaningfully for our families in Sutter County. So with that, I thank all of you.
All right, thank you. Round of applause. Hey, can we have the team? Can you come up? Team, can you come on up? Yeah, Michelle's team. We'd like to have you as part of this photo as well. Plus you have the flowers. Okay, another final round of applause, and thank you guys so much. Congratulations. Michelle.
Will Gwen Ford please join the board up front to receive a proclamation recognizing February 2025 as Black History Month?
So, Black History Month. Each year, Black History Month is observed in February, and during this month, we join together to celebrate and recognize the accomplishments and lasting impact of great African American leaders of our country's past and present. The observance of Black History Month provides opportunities to gain a deeper understanding of African American history and to acknowledge the centuries of struggles and equality and freedom, and calls our attention to the continued need to battle racism and build a society that lives up to its democratic ideals. The 2025 Black History Month theme is African Americans and labor, focusing on the significant role African Americans have played in the workforce throughout history, encompassing both enslaved labor and contributions to various industries and labor movements. Today and every day, Sutter County celebrates African Americans and labor, and encourages all people to recognize and confront the systemic racism in our neighborhoods and the wider community by standing in the gap at every opportunity, bridging barriers with fearlessness and determination to fight against racism and bigotry and improve representation of African Americans not only in the world of labor but in all facets of our society. The Sutter County Board of Supervisors do hereby proclaim February 2025 as Black History Month throughout Sutter County and encourages everyone to observe this month by acknowledging the history and challenges faced by African Americans and paying tribute to this community for its strength, perseverance, character, and contributions, all of which enrich our lives. With that, round of applause.
I want to say thank you very much for this honor to represent my culture. I really appreciate all of you being here and listening to this story because it speaks a lot. I am the director of an organization called Connecting Cultures Collaborative. The point of that organization is to bring all cultures together. We have over 30 organizations that are part of that collaborative. They're made up of Habitat for Humanity, Health and Human Services, UC Davis, Red Cross. All of us get together and determine how we can bring all of our cultures in this community together to make it stronger. And so far, we're making some progress. It's really cool. So thank you again. I really appreciate this. Could I get my folks up here?
Yeah, bring them up. So she wants to bring her team up here. Yeah.
Thank you. So on March 8th, mark your calendars, you're going to get to eat.
All right.
Okay? So the Sutter County Museum is part of the collaborative, and they have opened the museum up to us to have the soul food cook-off. And it starts at 12 and ends at 4. We're going to have competition between the cooks. He thinks he's going to win. But I want to invite you all to come there. If you you can go online to pay. We will be putting up stuff on Facebook and all the other social media pages, okay? Thank you.
Awesome. I think you might get a big crowd there. That sounds good. Okay. Thank you.
Will Pa Ku Tao please join the board up front to receive a proclamation recognizing February 2025 as National Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month?
Okay, Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month. One in three adolescent girls in the United States is a victim of physical, emotional, or verbal abuse from a dating partner, a figure that far exceeds victimization rates for other types of violence affecting youth. High school students who experience physical violence in a dating relationship are more likely to use drugs and alcohol, are at greater risk of suicide, and are much more likely to carry patterns of abuse into the future relationships. And providing young people with education about healthy relationships and relationship skills, and by changing attitudes that support violence, we recognize that dating violence can be prevented. It is essential to raise community awareness and to provide training for teachers, counselors, and school staff so that they may recognize when youth are exhibiting signs of dating violence. The Sutter County Board of Supervisors do hereby proclaim February 2025 as Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month. Throughout Sutter County, we urge all residents to work toward ending teen dating violence by empowering young people to develop healthier relationships, assisting victims in accessing the information and supportive services they need, creating better and more resources for young people in need, instituting effective intervention and prevention policies in schools, and engaging in discussions with family members and peers to promote awareness and prevention of the quiet epidemic of teen dating violence. With that, I will present you this proclamation. That's for you. And you can say a few words, please.
Hi, thank you. I'm Paku. I'm the program director at Casa de Esperanza. And so we do offer free counseling services to teens 14 years and older. They don't need parents' permission. So if you guys know of anybody that are in need, you guys are always welcome to call our crisis line.
Thank you very much. Let's give her a round of applause. Take a photo.
Will Dawn Petty and members of the grand jury please join the board up front to receive a proclamation recognizing February 2025 as Grand Jury Awareness Month?
All right, we have a great group up here. So this is to celebrate Grand Jury Awareness Month, which is February 2025. Every year in each of California's 58 counties, 19 ordinary citizens, here you guys are, take an oath to voluntarily serve a term of 1 year as grand jurors. Grand juries have been in existence since the adoption of California's original constitution in 1849 to 1850. Grand juries are charged with investigating and reporting on local governmental operations to assure that their responsibilities are being fulfilled legally, efficiently, honestly, and in the best interest of the public. Grand juries serve as a watchdog authority and are well suited to the effective investigation of local governments because they are independent bodies operationally separate from the entities and officials they investigate. The grand jury's fact-finding efforts result in reports that contain specific recommendations aimed at identifying problems and offering ways to improve government operations and enhance responsiveness. And the Sutter County Board of Supervisors do hereby proclaim the month of February 2025 as Grand Jury Awareness Month in Sutter County, and encourages everyone to observe this month by recognizing the efforts of those jurors, both past and present, who have volunteered their time and service to the Sutter County Grand Jury. So I will present this to you. Move the give you a microphone.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who supports us in this role. Again, I'd like to thank everybody who supports us in this role. It's an honor to serve our community the way we do through the grand jury. We've got a great team, and we look forward to ending it with some good recommendations. Thank you.
I want to just add that we appreciate all that you do as a grand jury. We know it's a lot of work, and to volunteer for a job like that and be able to carry forth your duties to do that and take your own time to do that, that's big dedication. So just really want to add, we really appreciate the work you do. Yeah. Yeah.
Will James Oxner please join the board up front to receive a proclamation recognizing February 2025 as Library Lovers Month?
There he is again. Twice in a row, yeah. Hey, nice to see you again. Come on up. Yeah, please do. Join us right here. Right in the middle. Should I go on this side? Okay. That's perfect. Okay, this is in celebration of library or recognition of Library Lovers Month. And as gateways to information and culture, libraries ensure that knowledge is available to everyone and helps to raise the education levels of society as a whole. In a world undergoing constant change, libraries provide enduring connections to the past and future of our communities, nations, and civilizations. Libraries enable individuals to make informed decisions about their self-governance by promoting unrestricted access to information and by serving as community centers for lifelong learning. Libraries support a competitive workforce with basic literacy programs, computers, and other resources to help children and adults learn to find, evaluate, and use information they need for their jobs, health, education, and other needs. Over 21 million people in the state of California and approximately 40,000 residents in Sutter County have library cards. The Sutter County Board of Supervisors do hereby proclaim February 2025 as Library Lovers Month throughout Sutter County and urges everyone to visit libraries and thank a librarian for making this unique and wonderful institution possible. So with that, James, I'm going to give you the proclamation.
Thank you. I guess having served the library for a little over 20 years, I have nothing but agreement with everything that you read and said. And we have some incredible partners in our community that we're just really grateful for. Some of them are here, Children and Family Commission, right? Yeah, and working with the different departments in the county, we have really found great support, and we appreciate the support of the Board of Supervisors through the years. They've been supporting us well for over 100 years, and right, how long have you been? Yeah. But yeah, over 100 years of service in the county, and it's something I think that people should be proud of. So I have with me Ayla Elkins, who's our literacy coordinator. We had planned to have a few more people here, but kind of a little bit of, I think, flu going through the staff. So Ayla, you have something to say?
Sure. I just would like to echo James' sincere thanks for supporting the library, the board, and for the community. If you haven't been into the library recently, I urge you to come on in and join us, because there's always new things going on. We've got a program for virtually anyone in the community, and we're busier than ever. So just encourage you to come visit us. Thanks.
Awesome. Another round of applause. And photo.
Will Guadalupe Rivera and staff please join the board up front to receive a proclamation recognizing February 16th through the 22nd of 2025 as National Engineers Week.
Okay. Whoa, we got the whole team here. This is great. I love it. Okay, we all know February is a busy month, but we're going to do this one in honor of National Engineers Week. So founded in 1951, National Engineers Week is dedicated to ensuring a diverse and well-educated future engineering workforce by increasing understanding of and interest in engineering and technology careers. Engineers use their scientific skills and specialized knowledge and skills in creative and innovative ways to fulfill society's needs. Engineering has been called the invisible or stealth profession because everything around us and things we use every day have been engineered in some way. You know, I never thought about that, but that's pretty interesting. Okay. Yet we may not see the engineers behind the scenes or know much about engineering. National Engineers Week promotes recognition among parents, teachers, and students of importance of a technical education and high level of math, science, and technology literacy, and motivates youth to pursue engineering careers in order to provide a diverse and vigorous engineering workforce. The Sutter County Board of Supervisors do hereby proclaim the week of February 16th to the 22nd, 2025 as National Engineers Week. Round of applause for our engineers. There you go, sir.
Well, thank you. On behalf of the engineering team, it is an honor to receive this proclamation here. We have a great team of engineers in our engineering division that are present here today, all but one who is tied up and busy doing what the chairman said that we do behind the scenes, right? So thanks to this good group of men and women that we have here and their hard work and their efforts that they do. We try to make an effort to keep our built environment working smoothly within the county. So I very much appreciate everything that they do. Things that you don't know as well is that they volunteer, and when there's engineering students, the high school students that'll come by from their engineering core classes, our team will help get them motivated to become engineers in the future as well. So they help pay it forward as well. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that we can't do what we do without the help of some of our folks out on the road crew as well, and just very much appreciate everything that we work together, and not only our road crew but our finance team, admin team, and some of the other folks here with us today. And just want to thank everybody for this proclamation and the board for the continued support. And we are very much proud to be part of this county team. So thank you.
Thank you, Guadalupe. Appreciate it. Okay, let's allow them a few seconds to exit. Thank you for coming, everybody. Take care. Okay, we'll move on to the public comment. Members of the public will be allowed to address the board on items of interest to the public that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors. State law provides that no discussion or action may be taken on any item not appearing on the agenda, on the posted agenda. Okay, we'll begin with consent, items 1 through 10, and I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Do I have a second? Okay, I have a first by Supervisor Baines, second by Supervisor Boone. We have to do a roll call vote, so I'll call for a roll call vote, please, Madam Clerk.
Supervisor Boone? Aye. Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmeyer? Aye. Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Stevens?
Aye.
And we do have one public comment speaker card also.
Okay, then let's go ahead and do the public speaker comment card.
Stephanie Rusino?
Hey, that was manual labor. I'm not in the union to press buttons. Anyway, I'm just calling to say, I don't know if anybody noticed, we have a new president who's getting down to business, and things are changing rapidly, which is what I wanted to address you. It's that New California state will be having an overnight success, probably by the end of next month, of being a new state, which we are, but admitted to the Union of States as the 51st state. There will be public elections, but the elections will be one person with ID, paper ballot, same-day counting. So it's kind of hard to manipulate machines when there's no machines and to cheat when it's one person, one vote, and very open. But things are going to get tough, really tough. Our state does not have the money. They have been lying. They have been using disaster economics to fill the coffers at great suffering to our people. It was just revealed that Moss Landing, that great fire, is a disaster environmentally worse than Chernobyl. All of the fires that we've had, we have proof and videos that they have been started by, I'll call it the deep state. If you want more details, we can give you the information. You can look it up and come to the same conclusion yourself. But economically, money is going to get really tight, really fast. Things are going to get hard. Crime is going to be going up. People are protesting everywhere. People who are guilty don't want to be caught. Can't imagine why not. But anyway, it's just going to make it harder for us, and we need to unite, know your neighbor, get to care for them, and stick together and stand your ground. We are a free people. We live in America. It's still free. We have a constitution. New California state is going back to a constitution where they can't dictate. COVID was nothing more than a trial run of how much of your rights are you willing to give up. As Ben Franklin said in 1789, those who give up liberty for a little bit of safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. I hope none of us here are falling in that category. You are here because you care about your government. You elected those people, except for those who are selected, to represent you, AKA a representative government. We are not a democracy. A democracy is mob rule, but we elect people to represent us and then work out our problems there. And there's been lots of problems with that, as we well know, but it's being fixed and being looked at. But what I'd like you all to do is get involved with New California State, find out what we're all about, and that is constitutional, less regulations, and just love your neighbor and care. And thank you for being here.
All right, thank you for your comments. Okay, we're going to move to appearance items. The clerk's going to read the titles, but I'll introduce Gina Stassi-Vanacore from Pioneer Energy, who will present item 11.
Receive a presentation on the Pioneer Energy Impact Assessment Study findings.
Welcome, Gina. Microphone? Yeah, sorry.
That better?
Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Gina Stassi-Vanacore, and I am the Director of Communications for Pioneer Community Energy. I'm here today to review the findings of a recent study co-commissioned by the County of Sutter and the cities of Live Oak and Yuba-Sutter to determine the feasibility of joining Pioneer Community Energy. As a reminder, Pioneer Community Energy was established in 2018. We are a community-owned, not-for-profit provider of electricity. We are an alternative to PG&E on the generation portion of customers' bills, which represent roughly 40% of what customers pay. Energy is still delivered through PG&E's lines and poles. We currently have more than 170,000 customers, and we focus on providing competitive rates, exceptional local service, and a choice in energy options. Since launching service in 2018, we have proudly saved customers more than $108 million. We anticipate an additional $31 million in customer savings in 2025. And for 2025, our board recently approved rates that allow customers an average discount of 10%. Our primary objectives are rate savings, community reinvestments, and we do that in a number of ways, including through local power purchase agreements, programs that help put money back into customers' pockets, and the purchase of goods and service throughout our territory. We have an A- rating from Standard & Poor's, and we also have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. So there is considerable interest in joining Pioneer from throughout areas in Northern California. So Sutter County is not alone here. We currently serve El Dorado County, Placer County, and in January 2024, Grass Valley and Nevada City joined Pioneer. We currently are looking to expand into several areas, including 5 counties. That includes Sutter, 7 cities, and 1 town. One of the things I would like to point out is that our expansion efforts focus on communities that are very like-minded and share the same priorities. So how we got here, just about this time last year, we began talking to the county about community choice aggregation in general, Pioneer Community Energy specifically, and the benefits that we could provide to county residents. It wasn't long after that that the cities of Live Oak and Yuba City joined that conversation. Last summer, we were here to provide a presentation about Pioneer in greater depth and answer questions. And at that time, the county agreed to co-commission an impact assessment study to determine the financial viability of having the county join Pioneer. The study was conducted during the summer, and findings were shared last fall with county staff as well as our our own board of directors. Excuse me. So I'm here today now to share the findings with you and talk about next steps should the county decide to move forward. So the study really needed to answer 3 questions. One was, did it make financial sense to move forward with expansion? The reason this is so important is our board of directors was very firm in their stance that our current customers cannot subsidize expansion. We wanted to protect ratepayer savings. The second question was whether or not we would have the resources to purchase the power needed for an expansion. And then the third question was, does the recommended timing for a service launch work for Sutter County? A little bit more specifically about the study, it was conducted by Pacific Energy Advisors, a very well-known and widely respected research firm in this area. I'd like to thank and acknowledge county staff for helping us to get the data needed for the study. We did examine 2 consecutive years of data on all customers for years 22 and 23. And we did that because that takes into account weather patterns as well as any impacts that could have affected the grid, the power grid. We projected revenues from our current rates, which as of today are our 2024 rates. Last year we had a projected average savings of about 7%. It was deliberately conservative. We fully believed that we could actually increase customer savings, and we also fully believed that PG&E would continue to raise rates. So with that in mind, our 2025 rates do project an average savings of 10%, and our board voted to approve those rate changes effective to go into effect March 1st. There are three components to power supply that the study really needed to look at. One is energy and its availability. That's indicated by the green arrow. Yes, we can purchase plenty of energy. The second has to do with renewable energy. As I'm sure you may be aware, there are state mandates that require that the state of California use 60% renewable energy by the year 2030. That has been a challenge in years past because of the great competition for those resources. But what the study found is that more and more projects are coming online. Permits are being approved, and so the bottlenecks are opening up quite a bit. The red arrow, which, yes, does indicate a bit of warning for us, has to do with resource adequacy, also called RA. RA is a regulatory mechanism, and it is required by the CPUC. It's designed to keep the lights on when the grid is strained, and we are required to buy 15% more than what we need. So that does create some challenges for us moving forward, and we did take that into account as we planned the study. So specific to Sutter County, what we found is there are roughly 11,000 customers, residential, commercial, and industrial, agricultural, and street lights. Expansion into Sutter County would represent approximately an 8% increase in our current load. In terms of fiscal impact, the CPUC does require, after an implementation plan is approved, that we wait 1 year. That would take us to fiscal year 26, 27, and the numbers did not work out favorably for that fiscal year. That took us to fiscal year 27, 28, where the numbers are more favorable. However, our board did not want to launch service at the very beginning of fiscal year 27, 28, because that would put us in a July launch when rates are high and usage is high. So it would not be advantageous. So what the study found is the optimal timing for launch for expansion communities in this cycle would be October 2027. That is a little bit different from what we discussed earlier this year. And that's why we asked the question about timing and does it work for Sutter County. So back to the answers that we needed to get. Does it make financial sense to move forward with expansion? It does. Do we have the power supply resources to serve Sutter County? We will. And does the recommended timing work for you? That is a question that we'd like to hear more from you about. So next steps really picks up where we left off last summer. Last fall, we did the study and we started looking at what the optimal timing would be. We shared those findings with county staff and our own board. In December, our board did formally approve expansion. Now we are at the point where we bring two items there would be two items for Sutter County to consider if it wanted to pursue expansion. One would be a resolution, which is required as part of the expansion plan that we will file with the California Public Utilities Commission in March. The other is an ordinance. So many people ask why we need both. The ordinance is required by the legislation that created CCAs. So should you want to join, we would need those documents. They would be included in our expansion plan. The CPUC then has 90 days to either approve or deny our plan. We have no reason to believe that the plan would be denied. And at that point, we would come back to the county to reaffirm that you are interested and would like to move forward with joining Pioneer. After that, we would begin procuring energy on your behalf. And then we would start working to familiarize residents and businesses about the process to take any element of surprise out of it. And we'd work in close coordination with you, with the businesses, with civic and fraternal organizations, and we would really do a strong Brown campaign just so people know what's going on. So the last thing with that, both the city of Live Oak and the city of Yuba City have moved to join Pioneer. And with that, I will answer any questions or turn the mic back over to you.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much for the presentation, Gina. I appreciate that. First, I'll ask the clerk, are there any speaker cards regarding this matter? Okay. Then I'll bring it back to the board if you have any questions. There's no vote on this today. It's just a presentation only, but if you had any questions regarding Pioneer. Anybody? Okay. Supervisor Stevens.
Thank you for this presentation. So just for my own understanding, it's the power, only the power we're talking about. Transmission rates would all still stay the same or go up or whatever they are going to be doing. Just the actual energy cost would be, and what percentage of the PG&E bill is actual energy cost? Does it vary, or can you?
It's roughly 40%, and you are correct that transmission and delivery charges would still be with PG&E.
Okay, so but basically we're talking about 40% of the energy bill would be affected by a 10% savings, if I understand right.
Correct, and different jurisdictions have different rates of savings based on when they join. One thing I will tell you is that our newest communities, Grass Valley, Nevada City, will have a 24% savings on the generation portion of their bill for this year. And then El Dorado County, which joined in 2022, will have a 22% savings on their bill.
Okay. And there's no difference as far as like peak versus non-peak or anything that we get into?
There are different rate plans, and PG&E has hundreds of different rate plans. We try to mirror PG&E's rate plans and as best we can. Okay. And different rates have different savings because of the nuances.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Stevens. Supervisor Ziegemeier, our eye in the sky, do you have any questions there, sir? Okay, awesome. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, great. Thank you for the presentation. Appreciate it. Item number 12 is going to be presented by Veronica Baumgardner, our Human Resources Director.
Approval of an employment agreement with Deborah McKelly for the position of Assistant County Counsel.
Hi, Veronica.
Good afternoon, Chairman and members of the board. Veronica Baumgardner, HR Director. I am coming before you today to approve an employment agreement for our Deputy County or Assistant County Counsel position. So last month, at the end of the month, we were notified by our current Assistant County Counsel that they had unfortunately accepted another position and would be resigning from the county effective at the end of this month. With that, staff has been in contact with our former county counsel, Deborah McKelly, who has agreed to come back to the county and assume the position of assistant county counsel under the terms and conditions set forth in the attached agreement, which is in your packet. Ms. McKelly, who is a former employee of Sutter County, had worked in county counsel's office for a little over 7 years. She began in 2017, was quickly promoted to assistant county counsel in 2019. And in 2021, the board appointed her as county counsel until her departure in May of 2024, when she accepted a position as county counsel for Glenn County. She has always been a very valued, member of our staff and of county counsel's office, and she really has a unique contribution, being that she has a lot of years in public service and has essentially done this, done these jobs and done the actual head county counsel position for many years. So that was really hard to replace when she left. We were very lucky, obviously, to bring our current county counsel in, but I think bringing her back with just her, local knowledge and experience with staff and the workings of Sutter County, I think would be really invaluable. She, again, has really strong working relationships with, many of the departments and has just been a great legal advisor and advocate for the county. My office conducted a salary survey in October, and the current salary range for the position is 35.7 below our comparable agencies in the market. The average county council salary in the comparison agencies is $212,000 annually. Ms. McKelly has agreed to return for an annual salary of $196,000. And although this increase is approximately $39,000, the department has agreed to offset that cost by freezing a deputy county council position, which would actually reduce their total allocation and their total funds for a net savings of $128,569. Just with her experience and knowledge in the inner workings, instead of bringing in, say, a new, county council or a newer green person, she can do the job of two people. Honestly. So we're just really, really excited and hopeful that we can make this happen. I would like to state that we did open a recruitment. We've had an ongoing recruitment since October for a deputy county council position. So not an assistant, but just a deputy county council position. And unfortunately, it was not a successful recruitment. And with it being open for many months, even then, we only had 3 people apply for the position. So we would be looking to freeze that position and bring her in under an employment agreement attached in your packet. So any questions, here to answer.
Okay, thank you, Veronica. Appreciate the presentation. Madam Clerk, do we have any speaker cards on this issue? Okay, there being none, we'll move it back to the board for any questions, or I'd entertain a motion.
To the chair.
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the employment agreement with Deborah McKelly for the position of Assistant County Counsel.
Okay. Okay, we have a first by Supervisor Baines and a second by Supervisor Boone, and we're going to do a roll call vote. Pete, please.
Supervisor Boone?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmeyer? Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Stevens?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much, Veronica.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item will be presented by Stephen Smith, the County Administrator.
Provide direction to staff to return to the next available meeting with an ordinance that, per recommendation of the 2023-2024 Sutter County Grand Jury, approves a salary increase for the Board of Supervisors from $34,476 to $54,476 per year.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and Supervisors. As the staff report states, the 2023-2024 grand jury reviewed the Sutter County Supervisor position salary and stated that it is underpaid by approximately $20,000 per year. The grand jury compared salaries from Lake, Mendocino, Nevada, Tehama, and Yuba counties with Sutter County in making that determination. The grand jury stated the following in their report. The last pay increase for the Board of Supervisors occurred in 2004. The board must vote on their own pay raise, which can have political consequences, and that Sutter County has historically been one of the lowest paying counties for all its employees. Not mentioned as an aside in that report is that Sutter County has amongst the lowest number of employees per capita of the 30 counties in California, with a population under 200,000, and we additionally typically have a 15 to 20% vacancy rate. The grand jury recommended that the county approve a raise by the end of October 2024. In the Board of Supervisors' response to the grand jury, it was stated the issue will be addressed by the end of December 2024. During the final board meeting of 2024, I'd asked for direction from the board, and the board directed me to return with a recommendation and an updated salary survey. That salary is included in the staff report, and it shows the supervisor position is approximately 170% under market. The current salary is $2,873 per month. In comparison, neighboring Yuba County's supervisor salary is $7,207 per month. In annual numbers, that is $34,476 compared to $86,484 or a difference of $52,000 per year or $1,000 per week. For reference, to our west, Colusa County supervisors are paid approximately $77,000 per year. It should be noted that as of January 1st in California, exempt employees or management non-hourly employees must be paid a minimum of $68,000 per year. However, this doesn't apply to elected officials, but I just wanted to state that for general knowledge on that. If the current recommendation is approved, the supervisor salary, we would bring an ordinance back to the board for a first and second reading, so it's not just one step and it's not today. But if the supervisor salary were increased $20,000 per year from $34,476 to $54,476, that would still be 71% under the market and less than every comparable county. You'd still be at the bottom of the market. Regardless of what the board decides regarding salary, I also recommend the board direct staff to bring an ordinance tying future supervisor salary annual increases or cost of living adjustments to the same percentage increase that Superior Court judges receive each year. This is simply for cost of living adjustments, not a percentage of the judge's salary. For example, if statewide judges received a 2% increase in the following year, then the board would receive a 2% increase cost of living. This is a common practice amongst counties for the supervisor position. So that is my presentation. I'm happy to discuss further or answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, CAO Smith. Madam Clerk, do we have comment cards?
We have two. The first is Stephanie Rustigno.
Okay, Stephanie, back to the podium.
Manual labor, and I'm not even in the union. Okay, I know you're going to raise the salary anyway, but I was talking to some employees who talk similar to the military. You have performance reviews, and raises are generally merit-based. When you first applied to become supervisors, you knew what the salary was. So it's more in the other counties, but what are you doing for Sutter County? What makes it unique? Why is a raise justified when things are going to get really horrible, especially fiscally? The state's going to be cutting off the money. We're going to have to go to the feds. We're going to have a new state. It's unsustainable. You think the other 49 states are going to give us $850 billion to get us out of our debt? No way. So we're up to ourselves. During COVID, instead of looking seriously at what was going on, you say, we've got to obey, we got to do whatever they say. No, we don't. We are sovereign citizens. Our county, that man over there, he is the law enforcement in our county. Nobody else can come in and dictate. He was elected by we the people, and he should have been the total in charge of what was going on. How many businesses were destroyed with COVID? And was it necessary? No. Was it a fake thing? Yes. Was a lot of money made? A lot of mistakes? Of course. I know you didn't have crystal balls back then, but the Constitution should have been our #1 item. And that big of a raise without showing that you deserve the raise, and I'm not saying you don't work. I know you get extra money for conferences, you get extra money for going to meetings and all that, but all of you have other jobs, other businesses, and you're trying to serve we the people. It's no more different than a class president at a college or a high school. They don't get extra money for being the president. You're here because supposedly you're citizens and you want to serve the community and make it better. Remember back in the old days, you could put a quarter in your bed at a hotel and it would vibrate? I get that free just by driving on the road. And the potholes aren't getting any better. And there's other ways than listening to unions and all that to fix our problems. We need to come together as a collaborative and fix at prices that we can afford. We want leaders. Maybe an extra 20,000 will make you lead better? I don't know. I would like to think not, because you're supposed to be not only paragons of virtue, but talented in leadership and in government things, instead of being just minions to whatever a COG says. A COG, is basically a UN thing, council and government.
I have to ask you to finish up there, please.
Okay, I just want to know, what value are we getting for an increased amount of money? And
Okay, thank you for your comments.
The next speaker is John Nicoletti.
Afternoon, Supervisors.
Afternoon,
First,
John.
thank you very much for your community service. From the experience that I've had in local governance, it is the most common thing to put an elected body in front of an agenda item like this and make them stand in front of their community and say, of course I do it for the love of my community. So 20 years go by and another 20 years are in front of us. And if we don't make those adjustments, we get so far behind that the correction seems outrageous, but the correction should have happened a long time ago. And the measures that Steve promoted to attach for the judges has everything to do with your land use decisions. There's supervisors in the state of California that are in landlocked positions. They're not growing in Santa Cruz. They want to grow in Santa Cruz, but their pay is 5 times what your pay is. And they get county cars. They get individual assistants to help them negotiate their schedules and their committees. Nobody sees the 24 committees that you sign on to. And the only one you miss is because you're at another one busy and you can't be in 2 places. And so, knowing those things, I'm in firm support of taking care of this step for now and being conscious of future boards and getting access for the whole community to want to have this great privilege to serve. It's absolutely appropriate. It's way past due, and it is expensive to be an elected official. Everybody expects you to be at every rubber chicken dinner, but that's not necessarily in the budget, and that's not in your budget. So you have to make a decision. Should you be out there? And most of you do. I see you. And so appreciate it, appreciate your service, and I just really, really recommend that you go forward with this as it develops as an item. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
And our final speaker is Deborah DeRozier.
Good afternoon. I'm Deborah DeRozier. Thank you for what you're doing. I'm not opposed to this, but I just want to tell you a couple things. First of all, Steve, the numbers that you were reading off about Calusa and that are not in this staff report, so I don't know what you were talking about, but I would like to see that. The other thing is I'm a math nerd, and looking at the salaries and the benefits totals, the benefits are usually about 70% of the cost of the salary. So just off the math that I'm doing off of this paperwork, it's bringing it up to like 91,000 each with, salary and benefits. But I'm not opposed to it, but I would like to see more information about the cost of living for the Superior Court judges. What is that cost of living based on? Is it a CPI, or is it, where does that come from? So Steve, I guess I'm doing a PRA. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. I'll bring it back to the board now. Are there any further cards? Okay. All right. Anyone else wish to speak on this matter? I invite you to do so if you'd like to. Okay. Then at this point, go ahead. That's okay. Come on over. Clerk, if you don't mind, go ahead and get a name.
Okay, thank you for letting me speak. I didn't fill out a card. My name is Fran Hill, and I am at almost a loss for words that we want to give a raise. When we went and we asked the voters of Sutter County for a penny raise or penny tax, and they said no. And then the city came to us and said no on the penny tax. And then yet our sheriff's department, our police departments are all underfunded, and we have no money, and then all of a sudden, here we are with the extra $125,000 to give. Now, I know that you guys work. I don't believe that you don't work, but I just think that our money should be spent for our sheriff's department, for our fire departments, for our roads. When we say we have no money for that, and yet we have extra money to give to the supervisors for a raise, and that the supervisors get to vote on their own raise. I don't understand that. It makes no sense to me. So thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Fran. Okay, and now I'll bring it back to the board for comments. Anybody? Or a motion?
The chair.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the raise.
Okay. I have a first by Supervisor Boone. Do I have a second?
Clarification.
Okay, go ahead, Supervisor Ziegemeier. Sorry I missed you back there, but go ahead. Yep. All right, thank you, Supervisor Ziegemeier. We have a motion on the floor from Supervisor Boone with a second from Supervisor Ziegemeier. Just for clarification on your motion, was that for the recommended action for the recommendation from CAO Steve Smith?
Yes.
Was there any further clarification you needed, Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir. I wanted to see if that included a discussion, and I can explain more at that time, then about tying future increases to the judges like many counties do.
My understanding was it does include the full.
Yeah, yes, your recommendation, Steve.
Yes, so direction to staff. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we have a comment, Supervisor Stevens, before we take the vote.
Okay, so as I was thinking about this, I got to thinking about why I wanted to run for this office. And there was several things that I felt like this community needed. It needed to build trust in its government, in its local government, transparency, truth, common sense, hearing one another and listening to one another, supportiveness, and also I just added kindness. So this is what makes up a strong community. That is what I continually try to build in this community. A group of volunteers with the, what am I trying to think of? We just honored them. The grand jury, excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. A group of volunteers that volunteered for the grand jury recommended that we receive a raise. The county staff did exactly what they were told to do, is bring it to the board. I can't believe that I would be voting on my own raise. That is not correct. That is not right. We need to come up with a better system than that. It is my position that I would like to see the future supervisors, not the most recently ones elected, the future supervisors, get a raise. We all knew what we were signing up for, and we signed up for it and supported it. But going forward, to fix a problem, I think that in 2 years, our supervisors should get a raise and get it fixed where we will never have to do this again, whether it's tied to judges or whatever index it is, I don't know. But we have a lot of hard problems that we're going to have to face in the coming months and years. Fire protection, cuts, possibly increased taxes. And for us to say that we're going to increase our wages while we're telling others that they're going to have to take cuts or close certain things or whatever, that's, to me, is not right, especially when we knew what we were going to be signed up for. So I'm not in support of this. I would love to see us come up with a different solution, because I think supervisors are underpaid. It shouldn't be 20 years, but to send out the message that we're sending out, I don't think that would be the right message at this time. So that's just my position.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Stevens. We have a motion on the floor, and we have a second. Sorry, I'm gonna call for the vote right now. So if we can do the vote, please. We have a first and a second. We'll do a roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Boone?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmeyer? Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Stevens?
No.
Okay, motion carries. Ayes have it. So, CAO Smith, did you have some follow-up reports and announcements? Yeah, go ahead, Supervisor Ziegenmeyer. You had a comment?
Through the chair.
Thank you, Supervisor Ziegenmeyer. Supervisor Baines.
Yeah, I'd just like to ask council that they could deny the raise. I mean, Supervisor Stevens doesn't need to take it if it if at some point this is actually passed. Right now, you're just giving staff direction to come back at a later date with the.
That's correct. A member of the board can not accept it, but it would still.
So could he do that right now, or he just has to wait until? Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
How that goes.
All right, thank you.
Through the chair?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to
Vance.
mention to everybody today, this last week I put in about 50 hours. I've been getting home sometime around 7:30. It's been a lot of work with the CAO and with these gentlemen here. We had the opportunity down in Pasadena to find some programs. We were able to implement those programs, and I found out on the date of our inauguration that we were able to score right now at this point, about an $850,000 position that will occur as long as the program lives. We're currently, I hosted a meeting with all the department heads recently, and we were able to bring in the senior specialist in the USDA grants. Her name was Sally Tripp, and our department head, Neil Hay, stepped up, and we found a program that we're going to plug into a city in Sutter County, probably $3 or $4 million. It's not out of our pocket, folks. These are grants, and it's because of hard work is why these are coming. And we've got a big one out there hanging out on the line right now that I'm going to say I've been working hard, and I'll tell you right now, this program we're working on may very well bring Sutter County out of debt. And it means a lot to me, and I've been putting a lot of time in. So, we're over here, complaining. I understand that we don't have a lot of money, but the monies that we've already generated way outweighs the raise we're looking at. So I just want you to be aware of that. And I'm going to continue putting these long hours in because I take pride in Sutter County. I'm a Live Oak guy more than anything else. And I'm going to promote, and I'm going to bring these programs to the table. And in fact, next Tuesday, I have a meeting up in Live Oak. We're going to talk about bringing a new school in. And there's a lot of neat things happening. Just bear with us. It's going to happen. And I want you to know that all of us sitting up here are 110% pro Sutter County, and we're going to make things happen for all of y'all. And your tax dollar is going to come. I mean, it's being well used. I'll tell you that for a fact. And that's why I'm going to leave that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Boone. Appreciate your comments.
Can I make another comment?
Sure. Supervisor Stevens, this will be the final comment on this topic, but go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say that I do think every one of these individuals on this board is Sutter County's best interest in mind and everything else. When I made my comments, I was talking about where we are financially at the present time, and I just can't see how by going forward, taking a raise and then having to talk about cutting programs and everything else, that's where I'm at. Not that any one individual isn't worth more. I understand we are well underpaid. I truly believe that. But at this time, I can't support it. But I do support what Mike says and these other gentlemen. It's hard work. We put in a lot of hours. We have a lot of meetings. But we are going to be running into rough times. So that's why I took the position I did. It's not saying anything about these other individuals on this board or the time they put in.
Okay, thank you for your comments. And now I'd like to move on to follow-up reports and announcements. Mr. Smith?
Yes, thank you. One, I would like to mention just one clarifying topic or item is that I appreciate what Supervisor Boone stated. The county doesn't have any finance debt. Any debt we have is the pension debt, which is very public, and we talk about that at least a couple times a year. But I just wanted people to know there's no, finance debt or whatever. So just wanted to let folks know that. And I just wanted to thank the staff in emergency services, the sheriff's office, health and human services, fire and development services and roads. With the heavy rains we've been having, they're out at all hours of the night. They're evacuating Lovey's Landing. They're working with other organizations to get people moved. They're out closing roads. People are driving around the closed road signs. They're out trying to get that fixed. So one, thank you so much to all the staff. Zach, our emergency manager, is always keeping me in the loop, and I immediately forward that to the supervisors so they know in case there are public questions. He posts frequently, both the sheriff and Zach on Facebook, and I try to share those on the main page, but just appreciate everyone's efforts on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Any further comments? Okay. Then we'll come back to the board for, if you have any questions for correspondence. I don't see any. Then we'll move on to district reports, and we'll start with you, Supervisor Boone.
I have no comment.
Okay, Supervisor Baines.
Yeah, I'd like to request a letter of condolences and sympathy go out to the families of Jared Rogers, and I'd ask staff if we could please find some way to recognize him in the county, whether it be a brick at the museum or something on county grounds. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Baines. Supervisor Ziegemeier. Okay, thank you, Super. Thank you, Supervisor Ziegemeier. Appreciate that. And then to the clerks, if you can make sure to add the whole board, of course, to special recognition for Jared Rogers. I mean, we're heartbroken over this whole thing and for the whole county, and we should do something very special, but we'll plan that with you. And then I'll bring it to Supervisor Stevens for district comments.
Thank you, Chair. It's not really in my district, but I've been in this seat for like 6 weeks now, and working with my words, trust and transparency, and building stuff for the county and being supportive. One thing, a lot of times as citizens, we think our county officials aren't out doing anything, or they're not putting in the time they should be putting in, or whatever. I can assure you, I've come in all times during the evening and daytime, and our staff, at least our administrative staff that I work with, is putting in way more hours than you can imagine. I've been in at 6 and 7, 8 o'clock at night, and there's individuals in there working and just looking out for us. So I would really like to just appreciate what they do, and I'd also like to appreciate these two women over here. Without them, I would be lost. They have a full-time job just dealing with me, asking questions and getting me going in the right direction. So I want to thank both of you a lot. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor Stevens. And you just reminded me, because those two ladies over there provided me with gifts for you and for Supervisor Boone. So welcome to the Board of Supervisors. As you mentioned, 6 weeks. It's gone by like lightning, but you've dealt with some big projects. So give them a round of applause. 6 weeks, they've survived so far, so they can make it through. Okay, and then with that, I have a recognition request. If we can request that the adult probation intervention counselors be recognized at the March 11th meeting for all of their hard work. Appreciate that. Okay. Yeah. Any further comments from the board? Legal counsel, anybody? Okay, at that, we're going to go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Then you make your comments. All right, thank you.
Good job, Board Supervisor.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.
You've seen signs marking some of the gyms in Marysville. They're produced by Sapphire Sign Company, providing something small, large, and mobile. With decades of experience, Sapphire Signs has pioneered local production of a variety of signs, like temporary campaign-style signs, welcomes for unique events, building signage, event promotion, and vehicle customization. Need a sign? Make it a gem from Sapphire Sign Company. On the web at sapphiremarketinggroup.net.
In Marysville, where roots run deep, McNally Appliances promises to keep the best brands with a smile on its face. We service what we sell, it's a warm embrace. Competitive pricing you can't ignore. With every purchase, you'll love it more. From fridges to washers, all in a line. We install with care to make it shine. Major brands, trusted and true. McNally Appliances is here for you. Oh, Nally McNally, we're your first choice. In Marysville, we help you rejoice. We service what we sell, no need to stress. At McNally Appliances, we're simply the best. Our promise stands, we'll always be here. McNally Appliances, bringing your cheer.
McNally Appliances, 119 D Street, Marysville. McNallyAppliances.com.
In the heart of the valley, we rise so bright, where the news flows freely in the morning light. Yuba-Sutter.live, where truth comes alive. Every Tuesday's a journey, it's where we thrive. Watch it unfold. Yuba-Sutter.live, in the heart of our home. Be informed, be wise. Yuba-Sutter.live, we capture it all. Policy debates, hear the people's call. With Yuba-Sutter.live, you'll never miss a beat. Special reports hit hard, shining a spotlight. Yuba-Sutter.live. Yuba-Sutter.live. It's the truth that comes through.